Hello, my loves. How are you? Today, we're actually going to get some messages around worthiness and our ability to receive the things that we deserve in our life as we're moving into this portion of really manifesting into our physical reality. So, these messages are going to be supportive for anyone here being guided to these messages. um, Masculines, feminines, divine counterpart, twin flame connections, um, may especially resonate with these messages because so many of us have worked so deeply within these energies of allowing ourselves to receive and share love. First with that self commitment, with self love and self support, and then moving into the place where we're ready to reciprocate and receive in our external physical world. And this is the energy and the essence that I feel we're really, really moving into. And a lot of messages have been coming in around it. But as you know, I love to use the cards as a bridge, kind of like to pull in messages from like the spiritual Google, so to speak, right? Like my higher self and how I see things and experience things. But also, you guys know that if you've been here with me, there are times that we get downloads and messages in real live time, even for me. So I'm shuffling the Starseed Oracle. Didn't know that that was going to happen, but we're just going to roll with it. All path leads home. Inner authority, intuition, turn your gaze within. I love this so much. And for my cousin Karen, if you're watching, doesn't that card look a lot like Stonehenge energy? I think that you'll appreciate that. But it all really, just the messages, all path leads home, and that inner energy and that idea of this worthiness and deserving of love, and us deserving to really genuinely have the connections and the life that we want and deserve. Because there's something that was coming through a lot this weekend about really dropping in the energy of worthiness into the roots, into the root chakra, because we can comprehend and understand that we're worthy, that we deserve love in our life. And we may even be doing things to embody this within ourselves in how we treat ourselves. But there was something exceedingly powerful about grounding that essence into the earth star, into the roots, grounding in love and worthiness and deservingness into the energy of safety and stability, allowing ourselves to be nourished and nurtured all the way down into the roots. And what's coming through to me is that we get into our spiritual energies, we get into our heart energy, and it's easier to feel those energies of love and support. But when we get down into the nitty gritty, into the roots, into the shadows, into some of those harder spaces, into the lower chakras, if you will, or into the things that we experience in our relationships that might not be so comfortable, it's a little bit, or it was, we'll say this, it was more difficult to feel love at the same time as experiencing those uncomfortable energies. But I feel like we're at this perfect point where when we feel the discomfort and we feel the emotions or the hurt or the pain or the unworthiness or the undeservingness that we withhold from ourselves or withhold from others, if we just ask to bring in that higher energy and essence of love and nurturing and nourishment into our own systems, physically, spiritually, and emotionally, into the foundations of our connection and onto the earth, as we develop and nurture that for ourselves, we're then able to share that out into the world in our relationships and our connections, with, family, friends, co-workers, clients, and obviously, especially into an intimate partnership. or as you're moving forward into creating and building a partnership in your life, especially as we move into the new energies. But even for those of you that have been working deep on your spiritual journey or your twin flame path or your inner union, this feels like a very important next step, because we can be in those higher energies, but are we grounding them into the base foundation of our earth star, our root chakra, into all of those old past uncomfortable pockets? Are we bringing them the love, the joy, the peace, all the way down into the root, into the sacral, into the solar, into the heart? In also, allowing ourselves to receive the support from the earth, the love, the nourishment, the safety, the stability, as we co-create within ourselves and co-create with our higher self, with creator, with the earth, as we develop and strengthen our own portal of co-creatorship. And then while we're working with that, going into those co-creative relationships with others, okay? And I do feel very strongly right now, I didn't know if I was going to do this, but I do actually feel guided to go into a portion of love relationship, like an intimate partnership connection with some of the cards connected with this. You can take it as it applies for you, if it applies to another area of your relationships. But what's coming through is those of you, especially on a divine counterpart, twin flame, or a love journey, a relationship initiation. These initiations and these energies are what is supporting us in having healthy relationships with everyone in our life, not just with ourselves, first with ourselves, right? Because of a result of our connection with the counterpart, helping us to facilitate these shifts energetically, but then how that affects how we're interacting in our outer world as we're learning to work within our own energetic systems and using that information out into the world. I feel lots of love coming in. I do feel shifting. I do, there's an awareness that there is a lot of shadows and stickiness getting cleaned up within the partnerships or the energies of love between the masculines and the feminines, no matter how you identify. Internally, it's happening, and so it's going to affect the external. I'm curious if any of you guys have been experiencing things that I'm speaking about as well. So if you want to drop that in the comments, share a little bit about what you've been going through, or, even if you just want to drop a heart, a smile, a sunshine, whatever, will just let me know that you're vibing with it. Also feel free to add anything additional. Okay, I'm just going to hit right with this 8 of Swords out of the gate, because we have the mirror, right? She's literally, give me a second. I feel like this is going deep. It's like anything that you've been projecting onto your twin or onto your relationship, how can you take those messages, and they may be very pertinent to them. This is a two-way street. What's coming through is any of you who have had physical world separation or disagreements or energies between you, whatever has transpired up to this point was what you both needed. It was relevant on both sides. But there's also another layer to that, and remembering that you are divine mirrors. So you're holding those spaces for triggering each other, but you're also reversing the mirrors and showing each other where you're needing some support. So ironically, the very things that you're saying to each other are relevant and pertinent, but also equally relevant and pertinent within yourself. Okay. So you can take the messages that they've given to you and also the messages that you've given to them, and look at where you can work from your side of your untangling and clearing of the chaos, the misunderstandings, the clouds, the residual energies, and being gentle with yourself with the remembrance that this is what we're all here for. This is what we're doing. This is why these connections are present in our life, physically, spiritually, emotionally, whichever way they're presenting for you. There is a deeper reason and a relevance to it. And if you find resistance within my message, I'm just going to simply ask you to sit with the part of you that's in resistance and just give it space. You don't have to take exactly what I'm saying in the way that you're receiving it or perceiving it right now. The message that's coming in is just let yourself process it. Give yourself space with it. Because what I feel like is there is a message that your higher self is wanting to get through to you about something specific to your connection, to your energy and your perception. And as I'm saying this, I feel energy in my belly button area, like the space between the solar and the sacral chakras. So you may want to look into that space for any of you that might be feeling some discomfort around this, because what's coming through is that energy of feeling kind of tangled by the mirror. It feels like the way you're perceiving the mirror in this moment that you're feeling resistance to is there for a reason, and your resistance is there for a reason. And the resistance is because your higher self is calling you to a different perspective. Release the resistance within the current perspective. And then let yourself rise up to the eagle eye perspective and look at the situation from an entirely new perspective. Your resistance isn't to my message. Your resistance isn't even to what you're specifically feeling, except for the realization that this is not where your answers live. Your answers live in that ability to look at it from a new perspective. But once you can release the Chinese finger trap of trying to resist what you're feeling right now, you can actually free yourself from that perspective and rise up to a new one. And that feels very, very important to where the answers may live. Okay, because any place we're feeling resistance or wanting to resist something, it's actually keeping us stuck in it. But I want to take a couple seconds to reiterate, sometimes getting yourself unstuck is just saying, oh, it is what it is. I don't have to participate in this dynamic in this way anymore. I can let go of the Chinese finger trap. I don't have to resist it. I can just stop participating in that stream, in that pocket. And sometimes it's that simple. It's that simple to drop the chaos and the confusion. Just stop participating in that part of it. Pan out, look in the eagle eye perspective, and give yourself space to let the old clouds clear out. I'd say usually 2-3 days of processing, you'll start to gain some big clarity of perspective. But as long as you stay in that Chinese finger trap energy, resisting what you're feeling, resisting what you last came up to, it actually keeps you stuck in that resistance. I hope this makes sense, because this feels like a big, important thing. Your resistance is there to teach you something on multiple levels. Most of all, to let go of the resistance and allow yourself to rise to the next level that you're actually ready for, because maintaining the resistance actually keeps you stuck in the old loop. You feel me? Listen, I've been through this pocket many a times. I get it. It's kind of cool, though, to realize that all you have to do to get out of this is to take the blindfold off. Take it off. Step away from that part of the mirror. Rise up to the new mirror. There's something in these cards that feels, it's like, in a way, this looks like the mirror, but you see she's free of it. The stuff is still there in the mirror, but she's not blinded or limited or tied up by it anymore. I feel like the death to the rebirth card was on the bottom, and I really just have to take it. Oh, beautiful. I'm taking all of them since they fell out. This definitely wanted to come through. So the death to rebirth with the 7 of Swords and the 3 of Swords behind it. So this is the death to rebirth process of that betrayal, the heartache, the self-betrayal, the pain, the aches, the discomfort, the running. You see her and the crow are both screaming. So this is bringing me up to the throat and the third eye chakras, right? And that there's another deeper level of activation happening internally. And as you release the restraints, as you release the resistance and let yourself go into the next steps of this death to rebirth process, it's actually going to be releasing the swords and the pain. All of this, what I'm actually feeling is that a lot of you guys have worked through a majority of it. And the reason it's getting to this point is because you are ready to let it go completely and move into the new, more expansive energies. But sometimes right before you're ready to manifest the new, it gets the most uncomfortable. It's like, because you're coming out of those last bits of the bigger spider web into the new clearing, okay? That is important. And I feel like I want to get one more to round it out. What do we have to look forward to as we move through the releasing of the resistance of the old mirror, allowing the pain of the old mirror and the heartache to really clear out and understand that it was all in service to our inner union and our ability truly feel worthy enough of deserving and loving and receiving love, truly receiving love in all of the chakras and all of the systems, physically, spiritually, emotionally, into every cell of our body from every direction, from the earth, from creator, from ourself, from our counterpart, from the world around us, giving and receiving love. Yes. And as we allow ourselves to move through this process, there is going to be a huge opening of creativity, of energy, of power, and very swift movement forward into the new next levels. And I feel like this is a process that's been happening. And we're going through these processes of hitting these road bumps, clearing them out, and then having quick movement forward. And this can be within your relationship connection, but this feels like this can be with anything that you've been working on individually as well. Any projects, creative projects, financial projects, work projects, fun projects, travel, community. Oh, this just feels really expansive to me, and I almost feel really guided to, I'm going to pick another card to go with that, because I really feel some expansive energies coming in the near future. And that's interesting because I felt expansion and we got closing door completion. So to me, this is going along with the completion of this painful death to rebirth energy, but yet you see all of the light shining. Oh, okay, this is hitting. It's like closing the door on the darkness and moving into the light, into the new. So we're really, really, truly feels deeply that we're closing out these pain and suffering and shadows on a very, very, very deep, personal, and collective level for the planet. As we're moving out of misunderstandings, as we're clearing chaos and confusion, and as we accept and honor that there was a lot of misunderstanding and chaos and confusion. Instead of holding tight to it, it actually does allow us to move into the new cycle, to receive the love, the support, and the worthiness that we've been working towards. Okay. Going through this process without needing to stay in control of the reins actually allows the healing to occur, allowing the completion of these old cycles internally, releasing the resistance to receiving the worthiness of love actually allows you to start to receive the worthiness of love. This feels deep. Energetically, I can feel it processing as I'm speaking. So I hope that you're allowing yourself to receive the activation of worthiness in your system through these messages, through the energy, through my voice, through our highest selves co-creating these messages here today, and really dropping into the worthiness of knowing that you do deserve it, and that you are actually going to allow yourself to receive the love that you deserve by releasing the resistance to the pain. Hope this was helpful. I love you, and I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day, loves. Take care. And if you're not subscribed here, you know that we would love to have you. Peace.